Hello everybody and welcome to the video notes for SBAC Review Day 3. We are on page 2 today and we're going to be going over all these problems on the left side. So number 7, number 9, number 11, number 13, and number 15. Starting with number 7, we have some long division. 16,540 divided by 24. So whenever you're trying to solve a problem with long division and you're dividing by something like 24 and we don't know all the multiples of 24, it can help to write them out. I'm going to do that on the right side here. I know that 1 times 24 is equal to 24. 2 times 24, I add another 24 to this 24, that would give me 48. 3 times 24 is, so I'm going to add another 24. That could give me a 2 here and a 7 here. 4 times 24, I'm going to add another 24 here. It would give me a 6 here and a 9 here. 5 times 24 is a 0 here and a 120 there. 6 times 24, add another 24 to this, that's 144. 7 times 24, add another 24, so that would give me 8 and a 6, 168. 8 times 24, that would give me a 2, 8, 9, 192. And then 9 times 24, that would be a 6, add another 2 here. 216. Okay. Now I can use this as a reference when I'm solving this. So let's set up our problem here. 16,540 divided by 24. Okay. So first I check. Can 24 go into 1? Nope, it cannot, too small. Add another number. Can 24 go into 16? Nope, 16 is too small. Can 24 go into 165? Yes, it can. 165 is bigger than 24. How many times can 24 go into 165? Let's check over here. 165 is, so 7 times 24 is 168. That's too much. But 6 times 24 is 144. So that works. So we're going to put a 6 here, and then 6 times 24, we know that it's 144. It's going to be a minus 144 here. 5 minus 4 is 1. 6 minus 4 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. Then we bring down the next number, which is a 4. So now we have 214. And I think to myself, how many times can 24 go into 214? Let's check our table over here. That would be in between 8 and 9, because 9 is 216. That's too many. So 8 is 192. So we'll put an 8 here. 8 times 24 is 192. Subtract 4 minus 2 is 2. 1 minus 9, let's carry this, borrow. Here, 11 minus 9 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. Bring down the next number, which is a 0. How many times can 24 go into 220? Well, 9 times 24 is 216. 10 times 24, we just add a 0, is 240, which is too many. So you know it has to be 9. So we'll put 9 here. And then 9 times 24, we know is 216. So minus 216 here. 0 minus 6, let's borrow 1. So 10 minus 6 is 4. Right, that's going to be it. And then from here, we're going to have to add a decimal. So if you add a decimal here, we also add a decimal here. We have a 0. Bring down this 0. And then how many times can 24 go into 40? Once. 1 times 24, then minus 24. We have a 6 and a 1 and a 0. And from here, I'm just checking with a calculator. Okay. So in this one, actually, I'm going to have you, this would be a 6 here. I'm just going to have you stop there because it actually goes on forever. So just stop there. 689.16. Okay. Number 9. 34.381 plus 8.2. So when we're adding decimals, what you want to do is always line up the decimal. So if I have 34.381 plus, the next number is 8.2, I make sure I line up the decimals. So I have 8.2 here. And then before I add, any zeros that you add after the last number, after a decimal, doesn't change the number, so I can just add zeros in here. Then I can just add it up. 1 plus 0 is 1, 8 plus 0 is 8, 3 plus 2 is 5. Bring the decimals straight down. 4 plus 8 is 12, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 42.581, or 581 thousandths, is my final answer. Okay, let's try number 11. Subtraction, same thing. When you're subtracting, make sure you line up the decimals. So we have 48.235 minus 29. Make sure I line up the decimals. 67. And just like in the last problem, any numbers after the decimal, if I have blank spaces, I can just add a 0 at the end and it doesn't change the value of the number. Let's subtract it. 5 minus 0 is 5. 3 minus 7, I'm going to have to borrow. So 13 minus 7 is 6. Then 1 minus 6, I have to borrow again. This becomes 7. And then here, 11 minus 6 is 5. Decimal comes straight down. 7 minus 9, I'm going to have to borrow. That becomes a 3. This becomes 17. 17 minus 9 is 8. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. 18.565. Okay. Next one. 8.296 times 0.8. With multiplication, you want to actually line it up, line your numbers up to the right. So imagine you have like an invisible wall on the right. And so we have 8.296 all the way up to the wall times 0.8. 0.8. Numbers are lined up to the right. And then you can multiply like you normally would. 8 times 6 is 48. We'll carry the 4 over here. 8 times 9 is 72. Put a 2 here, carry the 7 over here. 8 times 2 is 16 plus the 7. 16 plus 7 is 23. Put a 3 here, carry the 2 over there. 8 times 8 is 64 plus 2, which is 66. 0 times all of these would just be 0, so I don't have to add that in. Now what I have to do is I have to count how many numbers are after each decimal. In 8.296, there are 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal. In 0.8, there's 1 number after the decimal. So altogether, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers after the decimal, which means I have to go back here and move my decimal starting at the end back 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6.6328 is my final answer. Okay, number 15. 0.912 divided by 0.24. Set up my long division like I would normally. 0.912 divided by 0.24. Okay, and now when you're dividing by decimals, what you can do is, on this number outside that you're dividing by, count how many spaces or how many numbers are after the decimal. There's 1, 2. Right, there's 1 space, 2 space, and we're going to move it 2 spaces until it's at the very end. So always move it till it's at the very end. And if I move this decimal 2 spaces, I have to move this decimal 2 spaces as well. So now my decimal is right over there. And then I just bring it straight up top. So right there. And now I can divide like I normally would. So 20, I can just think of this as 24 now. 24 can't go into 0. Can 24 go into 9? Nope. Too small. Can 24 go into 91? Yes, it can. And actually I can borrow what I used up here. So 91 is right in between 3 and 4. So it's going to be 3. Because 3 times 24 is 72. So I'm going to put a 3 here. 3 times 24 is 72. Subtract it. 1 minus 2. Borrow from here. This becomes 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. 8 minus 7 is 1. Bring down the 2. Now I think to myself, how many times can 24 go into 192? Well, I can check back up here if I don't remember. 192 is exactly right here. So 8 times 24 is 192, which means I'm going to put an 8 right here. 8 times 24 is 192. There we go, no remainder. 3.8 is my final answer.